Why would Christ have you pick up a cross in order to follow him if that's the same thing used in his death, allegedly? Matthew 10 and 38. And he that takes not his cross and follows after me is not worthy of me. You see, these crosses and any other religious symbol that's popular nowadays, people don't know that these things are curses. Why would Christ have you pick up a curse in order to follow him? Think about it. Let me show you what I mean. Deuteronomy 28 and 36. Yahweh shall bring you and your king which you shall set over you into a nation which neither you nor your fathers have known, and there shall you serve other Elohim, wood and stone. You see, it's not a blessing to be, for one, made a slave, and then as a slave be forced to worship another nation's gods. You see, a lot of y'all don't know, and I'm going to show this in this video, that this thing revolving around JC is not what you think. I'm just going to say that for now. Think about it. Why would Hamashiach himself authorize the carrying around and use of a curse? Let's get some more insight. Psalms 96 and 5. For all the Elohai, or gods, of the nations, the same nations plural, are idols, but Yahweh made the heavens. You see, Zeus and Buddha and the list goes on and on. None of these things created the heavens and the earth. You see, God made man, and then man then turned around and started, instead of worshiping the God that made them, started worshiping the work of their hands. Thus, this cross. Deuteronomy 7, starting at verse 25. The graven image of their Elohim. Now, the their Elohim is the nations. We just covered that twice. Shall you burn with fire? Nah, carry it around and get it tattooed on your forehead like these stupid ass rappers of today. Nah, you burn it with fire. You shall not desire the silver or the gold that is on them, nor take it unto you, lest you be snared therein, for it is an abomination to Yahweh Elohika. Neither shall you bring an abomination into your house. We even see this with these movies where it's like a doll or something, and it's got a curse on it, and the doll come to life and wooty woo woo woo. Like, we see this. This is not coming from nowhere. Lest you be a cursed thing like it. Yeah, that's the cursed thing when this doll is trying to kill you. That's an extreme example, okay? But you shall utterly detest it, and you shall utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing. So did Christ require us to take hold of a cursed item? Because none of y'all know the origins of that damn thing. It's used to kill somebody. It's a symbol to kill somebody. But y'all want, what sense does it make to promote this thing? That's like walking around with electric chairs on you, tattooed on your face. So with this being said, let's actually find out what Hamashiach was really talking about. What's really going on. So as I usually do, I have this section color coordinated because I know people are so indoctrinated to where this might be hard to follow, just in case. So Matthew 16 and 24. Then said Yahweh unto his Talmudim, this is his disciples, if any man will come after me, he's going to give the criteria. Let him first deny himself, which is green, and take up his cross, which is red, and follow me. This is going to be the baseline. You just saw where it comes from. So I'm going to keep this here because as we reveal what this is actually talking about, it's going to be color coordinated. Let's get into it. We're going to start with 1 Kings chapter 19, starting at verses 17 through 20. This is the gist of it. But I'm going to start with verse 19 and 20, then come back and do 17 and 18. I'm doing it like that for a reason. So let's get started. Verse 19. So he departed thence and found Elisha, the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen before him, and he with the 12. Okay, so notice the number 12 here, just like there's 12 disciples. But this is green because this is what he's doing. And Elijah passed by him and cast his mantle upon him. Verse 20. And he left the oxen. Now you see why this is green. He was plowing with the oxen. He left the oxen. He denied himself. He could have just kept on doing what he was doing and ran after Elijah. Now I have to show two things here. One's already a given. He's running after Elijah. He's following after Elijah. But why is Elijah red? Why is Elisha red? We're going to get into that. And said, let me, I pray you, kiss my father and my mother, and then I will follow you. That's self-explanatory as to why that's blue. So we have the green here and we have the blue here, but we need to find out why Elijah and Elisha are red as far as this cross. This is the drum roll moment. This is when we go to verse 17. And it shall come to pass, future tense, that him that escapes the sword of Hazael shall Jehu slay, and him that escapes from the sword of Jehu shall Elisha slay. What do people slay with? Do you slay people with a cross? Religious Christian cross, or is it the other type of cross? Let that sink in. This is the three elements that Christ was talking about. Christ would never ordain some curse that would be counter Christ, anti-Christ, to then go against the law. And I know Christians struggle with understanding that, Christ was teaching the law. That's what it means to be a follower of Christ. To deny yourself. What do you want to do? You want to eat this and go here on Sunday morning and celebrate that, and the list goes on and on. You have to deny yourself, stop what you're doing, take up your cross, your sword, not that trash, not that curse, and then follow him. This is the understanding to that, which is located in 1 Kings. I got some more for you. Verse 18. Remember this, okay? Yet I have left me 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which has not kissed him. This is a war going on with Israel, righteous versus unrighteous. The righteous, the unrighteous were killing the righteous, and the righteous had to defend themselves. So we're going to go to Romans 11 and 4, back to people's favorite testament, to get some more understanding, to validate this. But what says the answer of Elohim unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. This is going to then shift into the spiritual battle. There's the physical battle in 1 Kings. Now we're going to go and shift gears to the spiritual battle. Because, the wrestling with flesh and blood and the principalities of man, that's war in itself. Ephesians 6 and 17. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Ruach, the spirit, which is the word of Elohim. This sword in the spiritual context is defined as the sword of the Most High. It's telling you that this cross is literally this sword, but this sword is the word. You need something. When you live in a world of liars, you need the truth to battle the liars with. This is kind of like the pre-moral of the story, because it's through thy precepts you get understanding. You're not going to get any understanding carrying a curse around your neck. What is that going to do? But then my life is in shambles and I don't know why. Why are these things happening to me? Hebrews 4 and 12. For the word of Elohim is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and ruach, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. It's using the truth, thus saith, to battle all this, fake religious dogma. The same thing with this cross versus what the real cross is through the precepts, through the oracle. Check out my first video, Deceive People, Deceive People. Now the next part of this, just the title alone is going to get people up in arms and in their emotions, but it's got to come out. If you miss it because you too much in your emotions, then you missed it. But that being said, Jesus Christ is a false Christ, no matter the color. I know people are putting a lot of this color malarkey into this Jesus to try to like justify using the name Jesus, but it's still Jesus. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Matthew 24 and 24. For there shall arise false Mashiachim. There's going to be false Christ. This is warning you that there will be false Christ. Who says that Jesus Christ is the actual Christ, the actual Messiah? If you were to have a conversation with Mary right now about her son, Jesus, she's going to look at you crazy like, who the hell is that? Because she never had a son named Jesus. This is what I mean. You have a timeline. At the beginning of the timeline, you have the birth of Emmanuel through Mary. This is biblically accurate. Then as the timeline goes on, you have name differentiations. You get the Yahushua, the Jesus, the Emmanuel, but it's still the same person. When I hear people say, black Jesus isn't that, whatever, they address this subject as if it's only a name issue. It's a two different person issue. As time goes on a timeline, you have then the image of a completely different person who is Cesare Borgia. At this point, it's no longer the same damn person. Then finally, at the end of the timeline, this completely different person has a completely different name and all this diverse color doctrine. And he also has a separate doctrine coming to save all people on the earth, where Mary's son was only born to save his nation of people. Jesus may love everybody, but the book says that Mary's son loves his people. It's kind of like Black Adam. He was just about his people. But basically, Cesare Borgia and Mary's son are two different people. It's not a color thing and it's not a name thing. It's very ignorant to make this a color thing. That Black Jesus, that's one of the most ignorant things that somebody could say. Because it's still Jesus. It's still not, it has so many false things attached to it. Revelation 13, starting at verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, I'm not going to really deal with this part. I probably will in the next video. But for now, I want to focus on and he calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. This section here is what I'm dealing with. We're going to have this, we're going to find out who these people are, you know, the small, great, rich, poor, free, bond, and this mark. The mark is green. The people are purple. All my purple people. Okay. After this, we'll do the number of his name. So here we are in Galatians 3:28. Starting at verse 28. It says, there is neither Yehudi or Yawani. This is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male or female. This is so similar to what we just saw in Revelation. Both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. It's the same thing here in Galatians 3:28. For you are all one in Yahushua HaMashiach, and if you belong to Mashiach, then you are Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. So this is showing us that Abraham's children, according to the promise, are this people that will, you know, rich, poor, bond, free, whatever, be receiving this mark. How do we know this? Let's move forward. Remember, follow the drip, follow the drip. This is 3rd Maccabees. A lot of you Christians don't have any of the Maccabees, but there's a lot of history that connects and it clears up everything, right? It says, now, and this is during the abomination of desolation, that entrance into their own temple was to be refused to all those who would not sacrifice. Talking about sacrificing swine. That all the Yehudi, the same Yehudi we just saw in Galatians, were to be registered. Notice how registered is green. This is the mark as we read forward among the common people, that those who resisted were to be forcibly seized and put to death, that those who were thus registered were to be marked, the same mark that we read about in Revelation. It didn't come out of thin air. They're going to be marked on their person by the ivy leaf symbol of Dionysus, and to be set apart with these limited rights. So these Jews, bond or free, you know, home or scattered, male, female, etc., during this Greek captivity, nothing to do with today, were to receive this Dionysus symbol mark on their person. This is what's really going on. This symbol is a curse. Going back to where we started, you're going to have this other nation above you and you're going to be forced to worship what they worship. That is a curse. So why in the hell would we then use a curse? It makes no sense. Why would you then JC everything? That's a curse. It has nothing to do with anybody in the book. Again, if you were to talk to Mary about her son JC, she's going to look at you like, who in the hell is that? Now, as we go back to Revelation, this mark that we see in 3rd Maccabees is the Chi Ski stigma. Revelation 13:18. I'm showing this one in the KJV first. It says, here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. Well, isn't Dionysus a man? Let's see what's up. This number of this man. And his number is, this is KJV 666. Now, this is when people struggle with the book of Revelation. They start making up stuff and doing all the backflips and hula hoos and Cheerios. No precepts or nothing. This was never written in English. These numbers mean nothing in the English, but in the Greek, it means everything. This is why there was the chi ski stigma. Let me show you what it means. We're dealing with numbers and values. So, for example, the chi is the Christos. It represents the value of 600. The ski is the cross. It represents the value of 60. Then the stigma represents pierced nails through the hands, and a hex valued at 6. You add these together, this is the mark of Dionysus that we saw in the Maccabees. But today we typically know it as JC. Again, Christos means anointed one. So in the Greek captivity, in the Maccabees, who did they say was their anointed one? Dionysus. No different from today. Everybody wants to say that JC's the anointed one. No, he's not. That's just a rendition of Caesar Borgia. That's not Mary's son. It's two different people. But y'all done fell for it. Y'all see all of these movies and everything with these Europeans and this cross and everything. JC. JC has nothing to do with any of these accounts. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. There was nothing mentioned in this book about promoting a cross to then and be following Christ somehow. It was the word, the precepts, the oracle of Elohim. That's the sword that you pick up to follow Christ. I hope this was clear. As far as feelings go, I don't care how people feel, but I mean, it says what it says. History is history. This JC thing, it's a completely different person. Be honest with yourself. It is not a name thing that people say, you know, Jesus Christ, whose real name is, let's say Yahweh Shai. Jesus Christ's real name is Caesar Borgia. It's just that that's not Mary's son. But that's all I have for now, as it is written, and I'm out.